Hello, sir. Welcome to Oakmont University Department of Medicine.
Charles Reed, private investigator. You recognize this bottle? Maybe you could tell me.
That's one of our lab bottles. We have a lot of them.
Could you do that for me?
These tests aren't cheap. And the other day, I could get right to it.
What's up?
Our lab is crawling with... Professor Westerbrook's research is a little unconventional, and something...
So, if I do a little pest control for you, you'll run those tests for me. For free?
Our budget is tight. You'd be helping the cause of science, Mr. Reed. Isn't that enough?
Oh, I guess science could help itself.
All right. Yes, you solve our problem, and I'll run the test for you. Off the books. Here's the key for the basement.
The door won't budge. Some serious equipment they've got here. Oakmont University is clearly well funded. I'm glad this thing is dead. Why do they even keep it here? I wonder what would happen if I press this button. Should I or shouldn't I? So very tempting. What kind of person would even touch this? Not to mention dissect it. Your lab is certified creature-free.
Excellent, Mr. Reed. You've done us a great favor. Now we can...
Okay. I've done my part. Here's the bottle. Now you...
Yes. Wait here. We finished that analysis, sir. It's ricin.
Ricin?
A highly toxic poison extracted from castor beans. It's slow-acting, but absolutely fatal to humans.
How can you tell if someone's been poisoned with ricin?
The symptoms take several days to develop. At first, it's like a common cold, but over several days, well, it develops into hemorrhage, internal organ failure, and death. It's not a pleasant way to die.
So, where do you get ricin? This isn't something you can pick up from a drugstore.
About that. It is rare, but we have a certain amount of it here. For study, in our poison store. Or we did. I'm afraid that must be where it came from. The label had been tampered with, but it certainly looks like ours. Where did you find it?
Crime scene. Someone was trying to poison a bunch...
This is horrible. I need to warn everyone in the university about this.
Who's got access to where the poison's stored?
Only Professor Westerbrook has the key. Professor Westerbrook's not here, though. He's been sick for the last few...
Where do they live?
I'm not sure, but
I'm working on that.
Well...
I'd like to know a bit more about your professors.
What do you want to know?
I want to know more about Westerbrook.
He's the head of our department. As you've already seen,
Yeah, that's quite the
I've no idea how he did it. He thinks he's on the verge of a break.
Some secret should stay.
You're not a man.
What can you tell me about...
He's one of the most brilliant teachers we have here. His biochemistry studies are second to none.
What's his problem?
I hope he gets...
I'll see you later. Can you fill me in on ricin again?
Of course. What do you need to know?
There's some kind of cure for ricin?
I'm afraid not. Once it's in your system, it's a death sentence.
How can you tell if someone's been...
The symptoms take several days, but over several days.
I'll see you later. I'd like to...
What can you... He's one of the most brilliant teachers we have here. His biochemistry studies are second to none.
What's his problem?
I don't know. There's some kind of family trouble. I hope he gets through whatever he's going through.
I'll see you later. These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison. These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison.
This should be good enough to make a decent copy. Something I can help you with, sir?
Please, help me out.
Stop bothering me, newcomer.
extra. All the news that's fit to print. Find something you like. Cheaper than the rest. Extra, extra. All the news that's fit to print. Buy a paper. Best of an notebook. All on sale. Today only.
The door won't budge. And judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around? This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD is in the center of all of it. This Cavendish guy. I did an impressive investigation, and the EOD is in the center of all of it. This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD is in the center of all of it.
I loved you. I always loved you.
A lot of fancy dresses locked away in a dark corner for a long time. I'm starting to smell some deep family trauma here.
You will never understand our cause! George, I can't live like.
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna! I thought the child was mine! Mine!
Okay, let's see what we...
George,
I don't care what your damn
you will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George!
George Cavendish. He had a wife named Anna. She had a baby that was not his, but blessed by the sea and claimed by the EOD. This caused their split.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Calm down. My name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator.
Right now, you look like someone who's breaking into my house. A burglar. Explain yourself.
No, Cavendish. Time for you to do some explaining. Care to tell me why you poisoned the fish at the EOD warehouse? And you better not lie to me. Oh, sorry. Is this making you angry? Yeah, two can play at that game, and believe me, I've got plenty of anger for the both of us.
How dare you?
I'm only going to ask politely once. Then my gun will do the talking.
Fine. Fine. Yes, it was me. But I had a good reason to do it. It all comes back to Anna.
What's Anna got to do with all this?
As you might have already gleaned, she was my wife.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it all starts to come together now.
The EOD robbed me of her. It all started with the free fish. We were all short on food at the time, and then they hooked her with their nonsense about the benevolent sea and greater good. I looked past it for some time, but then...
She became pregnant.
Yes. At first, I was over the moon. But then one day she came to me, that snake, and told me that the child was not mine. She said it was blessed by the sea, that it was demanded by the EOD. Doom take them! I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't.
Oh, this should be fun. What's your good reason for poisoning innocent people? You know the EOD are feeding the hungry, don't you?
No, that's exactly the problem. They're not doing it out of charity. They do it to spread their influence and recruit new members. Some of those initiates, as they call them, vanish without a trace. And not just them. They kidnap ordinary folks, too.
And poisoning the fish would prevent this how?
Oh, you see, not everyone in this city believes in the EOD yet. They have opposition among the citizens, both rich and poor. A rumor of the EOD's fish being poisonous and several incidents would be enough to undermine the EOD by sparking fear and mistrust.
There must be another way to deal with the EOD. Like if their crimes are that up.
They're resourceful, those sons of hagfish. They maintain a squeaky clean image. I tried going to the police. They were no help at all. And I'm not...
What did she mean?
What do you think is the cause of Innsmouth syndrome in...
Living in...
That K-forsaken place has nothing to do with it. It comes from breeding with monsters. These sea creatures they call deep... They take our women and they spoil them with their seed.
Where did you learn all of this?
After Anna left, I had nothing. But I did have a lot of time to research it. They appeared back in the mid-19th century in Innsmouth, and the first people with the Innsmouth syndrome started showing up around that same time.
Ah, perhaps not coincidental.
No, of course not. And the EOD is immensely rich. The sudden
So what's your next move?
I was interrupted and couldn't finish my task. The EOD, I understand I'm...
Keep talking. Now what is it?
Poison the rest of the fish. It's my agent inside the EOD reports that they've just received...
Your agent inside the EOD. Is he
I see where this is going. You need something from the EOD too.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a certain
My agent can arrange that. If someone is being held by the EOD, he'll know it. It's a win-win situation.
All right. Look, I'm gonna need to think about this.
Of course. But don't be too long. I'm going to need an answer before I let you go. I hope you can understand why. So,
Your methods stink, and your plan stinks.
you
Yeah.
You need to poison the fresh haul of fish at the EOD. I'll be back later. I need to see my agent. Find me after you're done.
Yeah, will do. I'm not quite ready to die.
Yes? Do you need something? What is it?
Budge. Hello again, Daryl. I serve the sea.
Sea be praised, Mr. Reed. Good to see you again.
Yeah, how's it going?
Still guarding this old piece of drock, as you can see.
Mind if I go inside?
Sure, no problem with that. Stay as long as you want.
Daryl, listen to me carefully. If you want to keep breathing, you gotta skip town. Now. You're taking a lot of heat on account of that fish poisoning. The EOD is on it like a dog on a bone, and they will find out the truth eventually.
Bah, I don't believe it.
Daryl, I'm saying this only because you're a real stand-up guy and I respect you. Leave this place, forget about the EOD, or it will kill you.
Fine, fine. You've always been on the level with me. I'll leave.
Don't be a stranger, Daryl.
May the sea protect you, Mr. Reed.
It's done. The fish have been pulled.
Perfect. This will make a
So, what's next on your to-do list? Hangings?
What we've already accomplished should be more than enough. I'm aware of being guilty of several crimes.
Well,
I don't want anyone else to suffer my fate. And I certainly don't want anyone else blamed for my crimes.
your contact better be worth the trouble, George.
He's already waiting for you in the basement of the fish market. His name's Fred. You'll need to tell him a password.
Oh, you're kidding me. Passwords? Again?
Oh, yes. We decided to use this EOD feature against them. Ironic, don't you think? Funny, even.
Right, funny. Yeah. Yeah, I think I just split my sides laughing.
Anyway, the password is, the sea is a cruel mistress.
You know anything about Harriet Doe?
Harriet. Ah, yes, I remember her. Is it her you're looking for?
Yeah. She participated in Throgmorton's little...
Oh, kidnapping promising female scientists from the university must have been...
Bye.
Yes? Do you need something? What is it? Yes? Do you need... something? What is it?
Hello? Your name Fred?
Might be. What do you want?
It's funny, you know. The water's choppy, the weather bad, and I miss sailing more than ever. It's like they say, the sea is a cruel mistress.
I know what you mean. But listen, I've got a story you might enjoy. You're looking for Professor Doe, ain't that right? The scientist the Order kidnapped. I think we can help each other.
How do you mean? You know where she is?
Slow down, buddy. Helping each other is not the same as let me just tell you everything.
What is this order you mentioned?
Yeah. You don't know, do you? EOD. It really stands for the Esoteric Order of Dagon.
Dagon.
An old being from the depths of the sea. In books, they show him as a monstrous amphibian. The Innsmouthers worship him as a god. And of course, they make sacrifices to him. In blood.
Nothing's for free in this city, is it? Figures. All right. Shoot.
You won't regret it. You've seen some of this city now, am I right? You've in England what's coming? I want out of the Order and the city before it hits. Trouble is, it's much easier to get into the Order than to leave. Give the slightest hint of it, you've signed your death warrant. I need somebody to get me out of the city on the quiet. And that's not an easy thing these days, my friend.
I've no idea how to help you with that.
Ain't you a detective? There are people in the city, smugglers, who know what to do. Find them. That's how you can help. See, I've heard whispers about ads in the newspaper. A new ad every week, talking about Salvation Harbor. Maybe start there.
All right, fine. I'll look into it. But your lead on the professor had better be worth it.
I know where they've got her. I can get you there. You just find me a way out fast, or I might be too dead to be any use to you. Go, quickly now.
What's your problem?
Extra, extra. All the news that's fit to print.
I've got some good news, and I've got some bad news. The good news is I've found Glover.
And the bad?
The bad news is he's dead. Murdered.
Indeed. Did you discover who killed him?
Not yet.
Then why are you wasting my time? Find me Glover's killer. I need the name of the man who crossed me, Mr. Reed, if I'm to make an example.
I know who's behind Professor Doe's kidnapping. It's an organization called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Most of them stick to the fish market, but they seem to have agents everywhere. Even the university.
I knew there was something fishy about the EOD, the den of those filthy Innsmouthers. I'll tear it to the ground.
Actually, most of the EOD members I met were locals. And for what it's worth, the only Innsmouther I spoke to was a nice guy. You ought to examine your prejudices.
Are you calling me a bigot, Reed?
Robert, listen. Something needs to change. You holding a grudge against Innsmouthers ain't making anything better for anyone. Those who fan the flames of hatred always end up burnt in the end.
They killed my son, for Kay's sake!
I know. But what did you do to prevent it? You made yourself their enemy instead of helping them. What did you expect would happen? You chose to brand them newcomers and leave them to suffer just like you did with me. The only difference is that I'm useful to you. No wonder desperate Innsmouthers would seek refuge from a radical organization like the EOD. They had nowhere else to turn.
I shall think about what you've said.
Back to business. I'll continue my search for Professor Doe. I have a promising lead. You have anything else to tell me?
Your task remains the same. Find Harriet and bring her back. You say we are dealing with an entire organization? Well, I have something for you that might help our cause should things take a turn. Now leave. I've heard enough from you. I'm not in the mood for chit-chat, Mr. Reed.
extra. All the news that's fit to print.
Stay safe.
Just